There's a moment in everyone's life when you wake up and realize you're lost. You can't quite explain how you got there. You're not sure when things started to slip, but suddenly your life feels off course. The energy is gone. The excitement is gone. And the person staring back at you in the mirror feels like a stranger. You start to wonder how everything fell apart. You had plans, dreams, goals, and yet somewhere along the way, you lost your direction. You lost yourself. And when you're in that place, it feels heavy. It feels like there's no way out. But I want you to hear me clearly. You are not broken and you are not stuck forever. You can get your life together. You can rebuild. You can find your way back. Feeling lost doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. It means something inside you is asking for change. It's your mind and body signaling that the path you're on no longer fits the person you're becoming. That's not a bad thing. It's actually the beginning of something new. But the first step to getting your life together is to stop waiting for the feeling to go away. You can't think your way out of being lost. You have to act your way out. You have to do something small, something simple, something today that starts to move you in a new direction. Here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you clarity, confidence, or motivation. Those things don't show up magically. They're built. They're earned. And they start the moment you decide that waiting isn't working. You don't need a 5-year plan to change your life. You just need a moment of courage to take control of the next 5 minutes. When you feel lost, it's because your habits, your environment, or your thoughts have drifted away from who you really are. You start living on autopilot, repeating the same cycles day after day, hoping something will change. But nothing changes until you interrupt the pattern. And that begins with awareness. You have to stop long enough to ask yourself some uncomfortable questions. What am I doing every day that's draining me? What am I avoiding because it scares me? What habits am I holding on to because they're comfortable, even though they keep me stuck? The answers might hurt. They might challenge the way you see yourself, but that's exactly what you need. To wake up, to take responsibility, to see the truth so you can rebuild. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be honest with where you are. Most people never get their lives together because they're pretending they already have. They post the right pictures, say the right things, and act like everything's fine. But deep down, they're lost too. You'll never change what you don't acknowledge. So be brutally honest with yourself. Admit that you're tired of your own excuses. Admit that you're ready for something better. That moment of honesty is the beginning of change. Once you've faced the truth, you've got to start small. Change doesn't come from massive overnight shifts. It comes from consistent, tiny actions that add up. Pick one thing. Just one thing that you can control today. Maybe it's making your bed. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's applying for a job, deleting that app, or cleaning that one corner of your room you've been avoiding. It sounds simple, but that's how momentum begins. When you take one small action, your brain gets a hit of accomplishment. That signal tells your body, I'm doing something. That little shift builds energy, and that energy builds confidence. Before you know it, one small step turns into 10. The biggest trap when you feel lost is overthinking. You start analyzing every decision, every mistake, every possible future outcome until you paralyze yourself. You tell yourself you'll start once you know exactly what to do, but that moment never comes. Clarity doesn't appear before action. It comes after it. You figure out who you are by moving, not by waiting. The longer you stay still, the louder your doubts become. So stop waiting to feel ready. You're never going to feel ready. You just start before you feel like it. You might not realize it now, but you're not starting from zero. You've been through hard things before. You've failed, struggled, and survived every bad day you thought would break you. You already have proof that you can rebuild. The problem isn't ability, it's belief. You've forgotten what you're capable of because you've been living in survival mode for too long. When life hits you hard, your brain shifts into protection mode. It tells you to play small, stay quiet, avoid risk. But you can't heal in the same mindset that hurt you. You have to remind yourself who you are, even when you don't feel it. You have to start showing up as the person you want to become long before you believe you can be them. Every day you have a choice to repeat or to rebuild. You can repeat the same habits, the same patterns, the same excuses, or you can rebuild. Rebuilding doesn't mean starting from nothing. It means starting again with experience. It means using what you've learned not as proof that you failed, but as evidence that you're still standing. You've made it through things that once felt impossible. You've already proven you can survive. Now it's time to learn how to live. You don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to start where you are. Clean one part of your life. Get up at the same time every morning. Write down your thoughts instead of drowning in them. Talk to someone instead of isolating yourself. Start building small wins because small wins create big shifts. The power of consistency will change you faster than motivation ever will. The more you follow through on promises you make to yourself, the more you start to trust yourself again. And when you trust yourself, you stop feeling lost because you know you can handle whatever comes next. Sometimes getting your life together means letting go of people who no longer align with you, of habits that drain your energy, of dreams that no longer feel right. It's okay to outgrow things that once fit you. Growth is messy. It means shedding old layers and learning how to live without them. You might lose some things on this journey, but you'll gain something far more valuable. You'll find peace, direction, and self-respect. And listen, the people who seem like they have it all together, they don't. Everyone is figuring it out as they go. The difference between the ones who move forward and the ones who stay lost is that the first group takes action despite uncertainty. They stop waiting for the perfect plan. They focus on progress, not perfection. You don't need to know what the next year looks like. You just need to know what the next step is. That's how you build momentum. One step, one choice, one small decision at a time. You might fail along the way. You might make mistakes. You might fall back into old patterns. That doesn't mean you're starting over. It means you're still learning. The process isn't supposed to be clean or easy. Growth is uncomfortable because you're building a new version of yourself. But the pain of change is always better than the pain of staying stuck. You can either suffer from the weight of the same problems or use that energy to build a better future. The choice is yours every single day. When you start doing the work, even in the smallest ways, things begin to shift. The fog lifts a little. You start feeling proud of yourself again. You start showing up differently. You walk with more confidence, even if the path ahead isn't fully clear. Because deep down, you know you're doing something about it. You're no longer a passenger in your life. You're in the driver's seat again. That's where power lies. You don't need a big breakthrough to turn things around. You just need to decide you're tired of staying lost. You need to make one simple promise to yourself. I'm not giving up on me. Every time you feel like quitting, repeat that. Every time you think it's too late, remind yourself it's not. You're still here. And as long as you're breathing, it's never too late to begin again. So if you're lost right now, take a deep breath. You don't have to figure everything out today. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start showing up for yourself in small, consistent ways. The direction will come. The clarity will come. But it won't come from waiting. It will come from moving. You'll start to find pieces of yourself again. The parts you thought were gone. You'll realize they were never lost. They were just buried under fear, doubt, and hesitation. You can get your life together. You can rebuild from the ground up. You can feel alive again. But it won't happen by magic. It'll happen because you made a decision to start. So take the first step, then take another. Keep moving forward. No matter how small it feels, you don't have to know where the road leads. You just have to trust that the act of moving will lead you somewhere better. The truth is, no one really has it all together. But you can have purpose. You can have peace. You can have progress. And that's enough to change everything. When you feel lost, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. You just have to turn the page and start writing it. You know that feeling when you wake up one day and realize your life doesn't look like the one you imagined. You look around and feel disconnected from your goals, your purpose, even from yourself. You start wondering, how did I get here? When did I lose control? It's a terrifying feeling because being lost isn't just about not knowing where you're going. It's about forgetting who you are. And when you reach that point, it feels like you've fallen into a fog where nothing makes sense anymore. You start to question everything, your choices, your relationships, your direction. You scroll through your phone, see everyone else moving forward, and wonder why you can't seem to get your life together. But I want you to take a deep breath and hear this: you're not broken. And this isn't the end. Feeling lost isn't a sign that your life is over. It's a sign that something inside you is asking for change. The truth is, everyone gets lost at some point. Every single person you admire has had seasons where they didn't know what they were doing. It's part of being human. You outgrow things, jobs, relationships, versions of yourself. And when that happens, there's a period where you drift before you discover what's next. The problem is most people get stuck in that drift because they believe they have to figure everything out before they move. But that's not how it works. You don't find clarity by thinking about your life. You find clarity by living it. You take one small step forward and then another. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. When you feel lost, your mind will tell you to wait. Wait until you have a plan. Wait until you're confident. Wait until you feel ready. But waiting is the problem. The longer you wait, the heavier the fog becomes. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. You start by doing something small, something you can control right now. Maybe it's cleaning your space. Maybe it's journaling your thoughts. Maybe it's going for a walk instead of scrolling endlessly. It doesn't seem like much, but that's the point. Small actions are how you begin to pull yourself out of the hole. Because when you take action, you remind yourself that you're not powerless. You remind yourself that you still have influence over your life. There's a simple truth people don't want to hear. No one is coming to fix your life for you. You have to do it yourself. That doesn't mean you're alone. It means you're responsible. You're the one who decides what happens next. And that's actually the most empowering realization you can have, because if you can take responsibility for the mess, you can also take responsibility for the comeback. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to change things is the moment you start taking your power back. It's easy to think that getting your life together means making huge changes. Quitting your job, moving somewhere new, starting a business, finding your passion. But that's not where it starts. It starts with consistency. It starts with doing the small things you've been avoiding. Making your bed, waking up when you said you would, drinking more water, getting dressed even when you don't feel like it. Because every small win builds momentum. You start to rebuild trust with yourself, and that's the foundation of everything. When you trust yourself again, you stop needing everything to be perfect before you begin. You stop hesitating and start moving. When you're lost, you'll also have to face the truth, not the version of it that's comfortable, but the real one. What are you doing that's holding you back? What habits are draining you? Who or what are you clinging to that no longer fits where you're going? Sometimes getting your life together isn't about adding more. It's about subtracting what no longer serves you. It's about cleaning up the mental clutter so you can see clearly again. That might mean letting go of toxic people, deleting the apps that waste your time, or stepping away from environments that make you feel small. It's not easy. Growth never is. But the pain of letting go is nothing compared to the pain of staying stuck. You're going to have days when you slip back into old patterns. You'll have moments when the doubt creeps in, when you question if any of this is even worth it. And that's okay. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be persistent. The process of finding yourself again isn't a straight line. Some days you'll feel powerful. Some days you'll feel lost all over again. But as long as you keep showing up, you're moving forward, even when it doesn't feel like it. The progress is happening beneath the surface. You're rewiring your mind to believe in yourself again. And I want you to know something else. You're not starting from zero. You've been through hard things before. You've survived heartbreak, failure, disappointment, rejection. You've already proven that you can handle more than you think. What's happening right now isn't the end. It's a new beginning. This is the version of your story where you take control, where you stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline, where you stop wishing for change and start creating it. Every time you take one small action toward bettering yourself, you're planting a seed. It doesn't grow overnight, but it grows. The more you water it, with consistency, self-care, and patience, the stronger it becomes. That's how change happens, quietly, gradually, but powerfully. The problem is most people quit before the results show. They give up because they don't see instant progress. But growth takes time. Healing takes time. Building a life you're proud of takes time. You can't rush transformation. You can only commit to it. You will never feel ready to start. You just have to start anyway. You'll never have all the answers, but you'll find them as you go. You'll never eliminate fear completely, but you can learn to move forward with it. That's what courage really is. Not the absence of fear, but the decision to move despite it. When you act, you teach your brain that fear isn't in charge anymore. you start to build a different kind of confidence, the kind that comes from proof. You'll look back one day and realize that every tiny action you took, every time you showed up, even when you didn't want to, was building the life you once thought was impossible. If you want to get your life together, stop chasing motivation. Motivation fades. Discipline doesn't. Discipline is built through repetition, through doing the things you don't want to do simply because you said you would. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. And when you start doing what you said you'd do, your entire identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's lost and start seeing yourself as someone who takes action. And that changes everything. This is your wake-up call. The fog you're in right now isn't permanent. It's temporary. You can get your life together. You can find direction again. But you have to stop waiting for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. The perfect moment is now. The messy, uncertain, uncomfortable now. Every day you delay is another day you stay stuck. You don't need a new life plan. You need a decision. The decision to take one small step. The decision to try again. The decision to not give up on yourself this time. You've got one life. Don't waste it waiting for clarity. Go create it. Go make mistakes. Go learn. Go explore. You don't have to know where you're going. You just have to move. And the more you move, the more the path will unfold. That's how you get your life together when you feel lost. You don't think your way out. You don't wait your way out. You act your way out. You show up for yourself again and again until one day you wake up, look around, and realize that you're not lost anymore. You've found yourself not because someone handed you a map, but because you had the courage to start walking without one.